Hello everyone, welcome to my channel. I'm Juan the Yarn Addict and I'd like to welcome you to another session of Coffee and Cake with Juan. If you're new here, hi, hello, and welcome. I'm super happy that you found me. If you're not new here and you're returning, well, welcome back. I'm super grateful and thankful you have returned. So for this coffee and cake session, I am just cleaning up the squirrel's nest. I'm going through my skeins, my cakes, and just cleaning up the mess. So I have some flats I'd like to work on. I call these flats. You may have heard me mention that once or twice. Once you've used a skein and it goes flat like this, I just call it flats. So I like to cake up my flats. Also, if I've used a cake and that becomes flat, I recake these as well. So it's just to clean up the space and make everything nice and neat. I put everything into my cake trays. I get these trays at the $1.25 tree, and I stack the trays on top of each other. Normally I fold the ball bands into the cake so that it's nice and flat. These stack up really nice on top of each other. So anyway, I have that here. And again, I have various yarns here that I need to clean up. So if this is of interest to you, please sit back and enjoy the show. And so for my coffee, I just refilled this. Full disclaimer, I recorded a coffee and cake with Juan earlier today and I didn't realize it, but the mic cut off 25 minutes into the show, and for the remainder of the show, it was complete silence, and I'm sitting here talking about all the things, doing all the different kinds of colors and so on and so forth, and so I decided to take that down from the channel and just re-record the session because from what I recall, it's been about a month since I've done this video on the channel. So I felt like today's the day to do it. I really wanted to do it, so I'm committed, and here we are remaking it. So let's jump into this. So I have this flat, but I think I'm gonna move on to another yarn first. Let me just slide this back so we can see all the things. I have this yarn here that was gifted to me by a member of the channel. I think Donna was the one who sent this to me, and it didn't come with a label, but I am working up a project with like yarn. I don't know if it's I don't know if it's exactly the same as what I'm currently working with, but it's very similar. And so I'm going to go ahead and cake this up, and I'm going to include it in that project because it is close enough for me to be able to include this into it. So we're going to do that. I'm going to go ahead and make my little bunny ear here, just like that. I'm going to weave everything through. And this is my Stanwood ball winder. This came to me very highly recommended. I got this off of Amazon. I'm not exactly sure if they have this in stock, but feel free to check. Just type Stanwood, and I believe they come in two sizes, a large and a medium. This is the large one. Okay, so let's go ahead and do this. I think what I'm going to do, just to be on the safe side, is every now and then I may get up and actually check my meter. There's a meter attached to the camera just to make sure that the mic is still on, or I can just check the mic to make sure that the lights are still on, and they are on, so we are good. So here we go. Now this yarn here is going to be included into a project that is re-gifted yarn. So I was gifted a bunch of granny squares, loose granny squares, and I decided to repurpose that yarn. And so I am frogging out all of the loose granny squares, and I am including this yarn with the yarn that I currently have, and I'm recreating a project. So I'm doing like a modern granny in the round, but it has modified stitches. So I'm super excited to reintroduce that. I have it in timeout right now because of everything else I have on the channel. But yeah, again, I plan on reintroducing it because it is a really good project. And I think that the contrast between the dark green with this variegated yarn is really nice to look at. So we're definitely going to do that. So I think what I need to do is take a sip of coffee. Excuse me. Very, very nice. So that mug holds hot coffee for quite a while. I'm very surprised. In a good way, of course. Now, I mentioned this in the other video. I got that mug on my way home from Camp Boggy Creek. So I filled up the truck. I drove the truck from Delaware to Florida. We unloaded the blankets, had an amazing time. And on the way home, I needed to stop for dinner. So I stopped at Buc-ee's for the first time. And I only intended to get gas and dinner. And what wound up happening was I saw all the things in the store. And I mean, the Buc-ee's logo was literally on everything. And so I said to myself, well, I can't stop at Buc-ee's for the first time and not pick something up. So I got shirts, I got mugs, I got this, that, these, and those. And everything was great, including the food. And as busy as it was, there wasn't much of a wait. I got in, I got out. The service was great. Yeah, I had a really great experience at Buc-ee's. It's unfortunate that we don't have that up here. I think it stops in the Carolinas. I'm not sure if it's in Maryland anywhere on the way up. I don't think I've seen one in Maryland. Virginia maybe, I'm not sure. But I know the one I went to was in the Carolinas. I want to say North Carolina. I could be wrong. I have a bad memory when it comes to things like that. But yeah, I just know that the I-95 corridor going from Delaware to Florida, you pass a Buc-ee's. That's the one I went to. That's the one I went to, and it was good. I wasn't sure exactly what to eat, so I picked up 2 sandwiches. I had a barbecue chicken sandwich, and then I had something else. I can't remember what it was, but it was a different kind of sandwich. And I said to myself, I can't decide which one is better because they're both good. And then I thought to myself, why don't we have this up here? This is actually really good food. And it's fast, and they make it right there. You can actually watch them make it. It was good. Anyway, I don't know the name of this colorway, but I really do enjoy seeing all the colors here. We have yellows and oranges and tans. That's really nice. And the solid color that's being used on this project, well, that's going to be used, is a hunter green, or a really dark, it's like a dark forest green. So it offers really, really nice contrast. So there is that. So I think what I'm going to do, just to be on the safe side, is I'm going to continue checking my mic after every cake. Because I do have a backup mic. So if this runs out, I'll just flip the mic and do all the things. So it'll be fine. So cake 1 is done. Very, very nice. Let's do a mic check. Okay, we're still on. All right, so this cake here is Red Heart Super Saver in Dove. I did this in the last video. I mentioned that it had a sibling flat that needs to be worked up, and so let's do that. I just need to figure out where. Okay, so I believe this is the outside part, and this is, what part is this? Is this the, hold on. Yes, this is the outside. Let me remove the paper. That might help us in this journey. And surprisingly enough, this Dove colorway is pretty soft for a Red Heart yarn. I'm pleasantly surprised. There you go. And it's got the gold heart outside of the red heart. So it is an older skein. I'm not sure if this is still in production, but that's okay. I really do like this monochromatic look. This is a monochromatic yarn, various shades of the same color. So that's super, super nice. And I think what I'm going to do is cake up this flat, and then I'm going to join this cake to the cake on the ball winder, so we have one cake of the same color instead of two small cakes. Yeah, that's going to help us with efficiency. Let's be efficient, right? So that's fine. Let's go ahead and get this on here. And we're off. Hopefully there's no yarn barf. I have no idea what to expect. Sometimes I have to think of it like Pandora's box, you know? All the things are inside that skein. And then sometimes you open it and it's an empty cedar chest and everything is perfect. So who knows what we're gonna get into. But again, like the way I'm feeling this yarn, it's pretty soft by all things considered. And I wonder if this is just a blip or if all yarns with this particular colorway, like the monochromatic yarns, are they all this soft? I'm surprised. And I don't mind the rougher yarns just because I'm used to it, you know? I started out on Red Heart, Cairn 1 pound, and there's another one, Bernat Super Value. More so Cairn 1 pound though, for sure. I love my Cairn 1 pound. I don't know what I'd do if I didn't have my Cairn 1 pound. I just love having those bigger skeins of yarn for bigger projects. These smaller skeins are nice, but you need more of them, you know? It's just nice to have all the yarn that you need right there. What would actually be really nice if we had yarn that offered us like this monochromatic look, but in the size of a Cairn 1 pound, or like a fleck yarn in a 1 pound. You know, those specialty yarns in a large skein of yarn. They do have jumbo ombre and, you know, different sizes in that regard, but they still don't measure up to 1 pound. I think they come in at 14 ounces, so just under a pound, which is still nice. I mean, by all things considered, it's a lot of yarn, but the more the better. You know what I mean? So, very happy about that. We can still get 14 ounces. Okay, so I want to tell you that Premier Yarns has worsted ombre yarn, just yarn, and their skeins offer 612 yards, which is a significant amount more than what Red Heart ombre offers, which is 544, I think. Still not bad, but how awesome would it be if we wound up with 1 pounders of Red Heart ombre? That would be great. I'm just saying. So I'm just going to do a slip knot here because I don't know what joint I'm going to need to use when I'm in the midst of a project. So I'm just going to do a slip knot there. It would help if I put that on there like that and do that. Perfect. And so I'm just going to join the cakes together. And now I don't have to look for the second cake. I don't have to be like, okay, Juan, where did you put that little cake? Where did it go? Now it's in one. I love this. This is great. And I really like this monochromatic look. How awesome would this yarn be if it were chunky? That would be amazing. I do like my chunky yarns. I love a bulky 5. Only because I have big hands, obviously. And those thicker yarns don't really affect me as much as it may someone else. I just really like working with that. And I also like working with thicker hooks. Now that goes without saying. I'll work with a smaller hook if the project calls for it. But my go-to, hook size-wise, is a 6, a 7, and an 8. I love those 3 sizes. It's just so good. It's all the things. All the things. All right, so I'm going to do this. Slide that in there like that. And there we have it. Dove. Okay, 2 down and many more to go. So I have this. It's not a flat, but it's getting there. And I know I'm going to use this yarn. I do not want this to get knotted up. It's been sitting in a bag next to the couch over here. And yes, I'm itching to get this caked up. So let's do that. But first, a mic check. Okay, we're still going. I still see the blinking light. We're good. Let's sip on the coffee. And how are all of you guys? Where are my manners? How are all of you? Thank you so much for watching me, especially those who watched the earlier video and mentioned in the comments, hey Juan, we lost audio. We're watching, but we can't hear you, Juan. Can you please? Yeah, and then I saw that and I'm like, oh, I can't leave that up there. There's no way I'm going to leave a video up there with no sound, because every comment in the comments will be, there's no sound, Juan. And they won't be wrong, you know? Yeah, there's no sound. So let's fix that. Anyway, let's go ahead and get this on the ball winder. I have to tell you how much I love this colorway. This colorway here is so, so good. This is a neon colorway, but it's more of a red neon, I feel. It's called Diva Pink, but it doesn't give me pink. It gives me more of like a red pink, and I'm here for this. I love this colorway. It's so good. It's so good. And I'm glad I got my hands on it. Now, this was a purchase from months and months ago, and it sat in one of my project bags, as I mentioned, in the bag next to the couch. And I'm going through all of my little whip bags and things, and I'm finding this color in several places. I love that because, you know, I get to work with it. So anyway, let's get it going. Now, I do have, I don't know if it's in camera view, maybe right here where my finger is. I can't really see because there's the ring light behind the camera, but right here under this yarn is a bunch of neons. Now, I have a project going right now. I am doing a perfectly squared granny square running 2 4-weight yarns together, and one of the yarns is a neon. The other is just leftover yarns from stash like this. I'll run a neon with this and put it on the square, the perfectly squared granny square. And it is for Camp Boggy Creek. So right now the blanket is featuring safety yellow, like a highlighter yellow. I may do another blanket with this colorway, where this will be the star of the show, and then all the other colors from stash will be, you know, the backup. Super, super nice. So I started something new on my channel. I'm very excited about it. I always like starting new things. So I don't have a name for what this even is, but I did a live yesterday. And during that live, we spun the wheel. You can check the channel. You'll see the thumbnail has me next to a wheel. And it's like a Tuesday live. And during that live, I spin the wheel for project ideas, and then we spin the wheel for yarn weights and all the things, right? So I decided to create a weekly project video kind of a thing, where every week I'll come on and I will come up and choose a project of the week, and the way I choose the project will be done in different ways from week to week. And you know, if you're watching and you're following along and you want to participate, by all means, participate. Many people have reached out and said that they're excited about it because it's not like a big project. These are little things that you can knock out in one sitting or over a span of a few days. But yeah, something different every week. Especially with me having all of these long-term projects, you know? I have a birthday blanket that I started. I started my birthday blanket last year in July, and it's still not finished. What I need to do is really concentrate on these long-term projects and finally get them off the hook. Maybe that could be something I'd record for a video. Just go over my long-term projects and let's talk about it. Now, I did a video a month or so ago it was like a countdown video where I pulled out all of my whips. There were about 20 to 25 whips. And I committed to dates and all the things. And so far, for the most part, I've stuck with the dates. But there are some that have expired and I need to reassess and figure out where I'm at with them all. Some of them I haven't even touched since recording that video. But maybe I need to re-record a video of that sort and just kind of reconfigure all of my long-term whips, because again, I would really enjoy not having so many long-term projects. Now, I don't mind having whips as long as they're ones where it's not going to take me a year to finish, you know? If I'm going to have one of those, maybe 1 or 2, not 20. Now, I have gift whipped a few of them already, to members of the channel, to family. Yes, I have a sister who visited me and she saw my whips and she said, I'll be more than happy to take one off your hands. And so, yeah, she took one of the projects off of my hands, and I'll talk about that in a video. But yeah, now I only have one other sister that really likes to crochet. And it's my older sister. My oldest sister, her name is Nancy, and she gave me her permission to say her name. So she's the only other one that crochets. And she is a right-handed crocheter, and she is what I like to call a soup ladler. She holds her hook like she's spinning for soup, like she's swirling the soup. And I really enjoy watching her. I mean, I don't really watch her crochet that often because our lives are just so busy. We don't have the time to really spend with each other crocheting. But I have witnessed her crocheting recently, and she is a ladler. And I don't know if she was doing that just to show off, because I remember her being a pencil holder, not a soup ladler. So I'm not sure what that even is, but maybe she changed over the years. I'm not exactly sure. But yeah, love that for her. And I think I just said she's right-handed, but she asked me, she said, Juan, how can you be a left-handed crocheter when all of us, meaning everyone else that we know, are all right-handed crocheters? I'm literally the only one on this side of the camera in my family and everyone we know that crochets with the left. And I said, Nancy, why don't you just watch my videos and you'll hear why I'm a left-handed crocheter? And I think you already know the reasons why. And she said, oh, the mirroring thing? And I said, yes. So for those of you guys who haven't seen those videos, I learned how to crochet from sitting directly in front of my grandmother and my aunt. It was easier for me to see, and I just mirrored everything they did. So they obviously were right-handed crocheters, and if you're mirroring someone, you're holding the hook on the same side that they're holding it on, like mirroring. So yeah. Now I write with my left hand, so I think that was another reason why I became very comfortable with being a left-handed crocheter. This is giving me issues. This is not fun. I don't like yarn barf. I don't have the patience for it. I should have the patience for it, but I don't. I just want it to be over with. But because this yarn has a wonderful hue to it, I'm going to be patient and I'm going to figure this out. Maybe I'm a little haphazard with it, but that's okay. We'll get through it. Aggressively. I'm aggressively getting through this yarn barf. And it's working to my benefit. And that doesn't always happen. Yes, more times than not, I lose this battle. I snip, and then this becomes amigurumi stuffing, which I do have a pickle jar in the pantry of all of my leftovers from lost battles of yarn barf. I call it battling. I'm battling with the barf. Anyway, let me just get this sorted out. We're close to the end on this one. And then, of course, once I get through this, I will do a mic check and make sure that we are still turned on, which we should be. We should still be. Okay. just doesn't want to go up. Okay, finally. All right. Let's get this done. All right. There we go. And let's do this. I'm going to always remember the colorway name, but you never know. Let me just do this. Maybe that wasn't the right way to do it, but we'll figure it out. There we go. Perfect. Love this. So good. 3 cakes down. Now we do a mic check, and we are still on. Winning. Right about now is where it cut off last time. So now I'm going to pay close attention. I know I say this all the time, but I really like that coffee. Okay, so now I'm going to re-cake this. This is a flat. And there we go. Re-caking the flats. Okay, let's feed the eye. There we go. And then let's put this on the cylinder. And let's do it. This should be a piece of cake. Piece of cake for the cake. Love it. Now I worked this up with my 2-bit granny project. That's actually in the studio right now. This is the leftovers from that. I don't know if I'm going to use this again for another 2-bit granny. It may not be enough yarn. But there's this other project that I want to do. I'm not sure if I'm committed to it yet, but I wanted to do like a Roseanne blanket from the show Roseanne, where you have all of those granny squares outlined in black, and I want it for the couch. But I want to do all the different colors that I have, because I have so many different colors of yarn here, like little colors like this. And it's a great stash buster. At least I think so anyway. It'd be a great idea to get the yarn cleaned up, use as much of it as you can, you know? All right, so there's that. This isn't much of a cake, but at least it's neat. I like that for us. And let's go ahead and do this one while we're at it. Okay, and I really love how vibrant this red is. It's super nice. I love a good red, especially when it's bright and vibrant. Yes, it goes really nice with lots of colors, especially purple. Purple and black. Well, purple if it's a dark, deep purple, in my very humble opinion. So, here we go. We've got the red going. Very nice. And this shouldn't take long at all. By the way, all of these yarns are medium 4-weight yarns, all acrylic. I don't like mixing fibers in my trays. If I put a wool cake in my tray, all of them have to be wool. Same thing with acrylic, same thing with cottons. I like all the same fibers in all of my trays. As of right now, I don't have any trays with wool or any trays with cotton, so all of my cake trays are all acrylic, medium 4-weight yarns. I don't even have any DK weight cake trays. Just goes to show how often I really use it, you know? And when I do use it, I use just the amount that I need. So, yes, very, very nice. This Karen 1 pound, look, it's itching to be caked up. It wants to be caked up ASAP. And I like it. I like that for it. All right, so this little cake is ready to go as well. There we go. Let's just get that off. So these little cakes here, well, that's a variegated yarn here. This is a variegated light blue. Very nice. I don't think I'll work this up with this. This will be for my corner to corner spectrum blanket, which I have over there, but I'm not going to get up at the moment because it's way over there. And yeah, I like staying on screen as much as I can possibly stay on screen. If I leave, it's because, you know, I'm changing my shirt like I did yesterday on the live. There was this shirt that was gifted to me by Sky. She does t-shirts, and actually Sky was the one who made it. Colette from Chicago was the one who sent it or ordered it for me. In either case, all of the wording on the shirt was all backwards, but because when I record for lives on YouTube, everything is backwards. Like even the image, everything is backwards. And so Colette ordered the shirt and it said, this shirt is backwards, but we're seeing it right. I forget exactly what it said, but you were able to read the shirt, and it was telling everybody that the shirt was actually made with everything backwards. So I love that. Very clever, and I really enjoy wearing that shirt. And I did mention that I plan on wearing that more than once. That's gonna definitely be like one of the regular shirts, especially if I'm recording a live right on YouTube. At least until we can figure out how I can use the YouTube app on my camera or my phone and it not be backwards. So we'll wait and see. We don't know what's gonna happen with that, but yeah. Did I tell you guys how much I love Karen 1 Pound? I love this yarn. It's nice and thick. It's just so good. Now they don't offer the same amount of colorways as Red Heart Super Saver or any of the other like big time value yarns, but tried, tested, and true. Like, yes, Karen 1 Pound has been around since I started crocheting at 15, and I can almost guarantee you Karen 1 Pound has been around for years before that. And yes, I love it. The first colorways I worked with Karen 1 Pound were burgundy, white, and black. Those were my go-to colors back then. And yeah, love it. So good. See, I'm compelled to do a quick mic check. Okay, we're good. Are we? Yes, we're good. Just making sure we're still good. I really wasn't devastated when I saw there was no volume on the original one. I'm like, yes, I can go ahead and start caking more yarn. So, I mean, it was annoying, but I also don't mind doing this. This is a lot of fun for me. So, I really enjoy this, especially, you know, I have someone to talk to. So, for those of you guys who don't know, my mother, she's a deaf mute, and I am her caretaker. And so we talk with our hands here. So when I'm doing things like this or crocheting, we don't really talk because we need our hands to talk, but we also need our hands to crochet. And you can't do both things at the same time. So for us, crochet is a very quiet time for us. We can't talk because we're crocheting, so on and so forth. Anyway, I like doing this in here with you guys because I can do all the fun yarny things and talk to the camera. Now, I could also do this with my mom in the room because she can read lips, but she can't talk back. And so she has to stop her work and use her sign language to talk back to me. And for her, it's frustrating, but I totally get it. Like, I understand why it would frustrate her, but I tell her, I'm like, Ma, if you're working on your work, just do that. It's good. I'll check back in a few hours if you want to take a break and let's chat. We can do that then, you know? But as of late, she hasn't really been crocheting that much. It's not that she's not interested in it or she doesn't care for it. She really loves it. She's been doing it for decades and eons and all the things, but her vision on the left eye is going, if not gone, and crocheting has been very difficult for her. So I've been helping her with her crochet. So I'll start her granny squares for her now, and then I will give her the start, and then she feels the holes and she does her stitches that way, which I think is very awesome that she does it that way. She's not giving up. She's a trooper, and I love that. And I told her, I said, if at any time you want to take a break from that and maybe do something else, just let me know and I'll help you, you know? So me and my mom really connected over yarn. You know, she and I really weren't close when I was a teenager. I was more close to my aunt and my grandmother, obviously. But over the years, through crochet, especially after I lost my grandmother and my aunt, me and my mom got closer together through yarn. And it's always been that way. So yeah, she's my best friend because of yarn. So that's awesome. The next thing we're gonna cake up is this vintage discontinued variegated yarn. I have this and this. I don't know if these two can become one. We're gonna check out the things. So this is Sayel yarn. The colorway name here is called Shaded Greens. I'll give you a close-up. It's a beautiful, beautiful colorway there. So nice. It's manufactured by American Thread out of Stamford, Connecticut. I don't see a year on here, but I can almost guarantee you that 70s or earlier. This is definitely not an 80s yarn. So anyway, and that's just my humble opinion. I could be completely wrong, but yeah, just going by the font and by the labeling and the wording and everything, it looks like some of the skeins that I have here that I know are from like the 70s. Anyway, I'm going to go ahead and put this on the ball winder. But before I start cranking away, I'm gonna take a sip of coffee and do a mic check. I know I don't have to tell you guys every time I do that, but it puts me at peace when I tell you guys ahead of time. Okay, so we're good. And now let's take a sip of coffee. Perfect. Okay, let's continue. So I've worked with this yarn recently on my hexagons. My hexagon project is a very long-term project because, as I mentioned before, I need like 236 full hexagons, not including the half ones, and I'm using a 5.5mm crochet hook. And by all accounts, it's a size smaller than what I usually use for most projects. So when time permits and when I have the yarn readily available to go, I'll go ahead and work some of the hexagons. I don't really show updates on those hexagons that I should. So maybe within the next few podcasts, I'll give an update on my hexagon project. They all have to be gone back over with one round of black. So I need to, because right now all of my hexagons are just the actual color and there's no black on it just yet. So just to recap that very quickly, these hexagons are specifically discontinued vintage variegated colorways that I am randomly putting together, and I'm creating a queen or a king size blanket for me. And you know, I don't have a time limit on this. I'm just really enjoying the process of creating these and just getting the experience of looking at the colors and just familiarizing myself with the different names of the yarns. And then I'm doing 5 rounds of the hexagon, and then I'm going to do 1 round in single crochet in black. Yeah, I may do double crochet. I'm not sure yet because I didn't start that yet. So right now it's just the actual vintage discontinued variegated yarn. So we'll see. I'm not sure just yet. Anyway, if I can manage to get both of these cakes together into one bigger cake, I would love that for us. Because as I mentioned before with the Delft colorway, that just means I don't have to look for the other one. Now, that was the case when I worked up the banana berry. So it's like a cobalt blue and a safety yellow. It's a very 80s colorway. I have it somewhere. Anyway, I have this huge cake and then this little cake. And I lost the bigger cake. I only had the smaller cake in tow. And I'm like, I know I caked up this yarn and it was 2. Where's the other one? Well, after all the cleaning, I found it. And I said, this cake's not even that big. I could have put that yarn with that yarn. And so now I make a conscious effort to do that, to try and put both cakes or both pieces onto one cake. So yeah, very, very nice. They just don't make the colorways like they used to. I'm not saying there's anything bad with the colorways that are out now, but there were many, many colors from years past that were absolutely stunning, amazing, that I really wish they'd bring back. This is like one of them. There's an entire series of colors like this from Sayel. They have the shaded purples, the shaded taupes, like all the colors like this. I have a few of them. I don't have all of them, I have a few. But yeah, I think I have the reds, I have the greens, I have the purples, I have the taupes. I think I have oranges, and I have one other color. I can't remember the name of it. It's like a burnt sienna. It's like something in between a brown and an orange. Shaded, yep. So yeah, love that. And now, so I mentioned this before, when you work with these skeins, this skein is so old that the fibers are basically hugging its next door neighbor. So it's peeling itself apart. So there's some friction there and it's not collapsing. So you can just imagine how old this yarn is. That doesn't speak too well for me because I was probably conceived the same decade that this yarn was made, in the 70s. Or earlier, who knows? I don't know. So I think we're gonna be able to get both cakes into one. I didn't realize just how fluffy this yarn was. And I've been holding the tension, which everything is nice and taut. Love that. We're peeling apart now. So let's see here. Are we gonna do it? It should work. I have a feeling it's gonna knot up on the end here. Who knows? Maybe, maybe not. It's very dusty, but that's okay. When it comes to the dusty yarn, I crochet with it anyway, with the full knowledge that I plan on putting it in the washer. It's gonna get a bath, it's gonna get all nice and clean and fluffy again. I love it. It's still peeling itself apart. Come on. I would imagine caking this into this is going to be a lot easier because we've already separated the fibers. So that's fine. I don't know if we're going to get to any of that today, but at least we have this. So let me go ahead and join this cake to this cake. This should be easy peasy. And before I start this, I'm just going to do a quick mic check. I just said I was going to try and not do that every time. Okay, we're good. All right. I'm just so surprised that like when the power went out on the mic, I had no idea. Like I just went on about my business like everything was good. I even ended. I'm like proud as punch that we got that all done and it's going on the channel and wow. Wow, wow, wow. Okay. So I guess I'm just gonna hold it up like this. This is super nice. Beautiful cake, right? I love this. It's giving me like a pulling effect. I love it. Again, why can't we have this yarn? I know they have other ones, but not this. This is so good. It gives me St. Patrick's Day vibes. Like this green is very green. I love it. Okay. So, and green's not even my favorite color, and I'm really enjoying this colorway here. The whole color story of the whole situation. Loving it. So let me just wrap this around. Just like that, and pull nice and tight. Very good. Pull that off. All right, so let's set that there, slide that off. Beautiful. Look at that. That's so good. I love this yarn. It's so nice. Okay, where are we at? 46 minutes. Do we have time for anything else? Probably not, but I will do a show and tell for the earlier video that I did. These are the cakes that I caked up. If you watched the earlier video, you know about some of these. So in that video, I caked up, this here is Premier Yarn Worsted Ombre, and this is the Just Yarn, 612 yards, but this is what I have left over. This is Sea Glass Ombre. Very, very nice. And then we have, the colorway name is Ivy. This is Loops and Thread Soft Classic, a leftover flat or a leftover cake from a previous project that I recaked. This one here is Bernat Super Value in Luxury Ombre is what they're calling it. And it's very, very soft. Maybe this is like a special edition yarn because it's very soft. So I'll show you that up close. Very nice. This here is Big Twist in the colorway Pool Time. And last but certainly not least, we have Red Heart Super Saver Ombre in Green Apple. I really wanted to get both of these onto the same cake, but there really was no room left. The arm could not fit any more yarn, so I had to make this. So yes, I actually frogged a project. I tried the leaf hopper stitch in the round and I didn't like how it laid, so I frogged it. I didn't want to commit to that project if I didn't like how it looked. So yeah, let me go ahead and put these back on here and we're gonna call it a session. So thank you so much for watching. If you enjoyed this, please don't forget or please remember to hit the like button. Consider subscribing to the channel if you haven't done so already. And then of course, please share the video. I would definitely appreciate the support. Thank you so much for watching, and a special thank you for those of you guys who watched earlier and came back to watch the second one. I really do appreciate that. So that is all from me for now. And until the next one, take care, friends. Bye.